So I've been making living costumes for about 11, 12 years now. They started off with grass and then they kind of developed into flowers, different kind of systems. So I did hydroponics. I've always really loved mythology. That's always been something that's interested a lot of my work. And I like in mythology that it's about clear storytelling. It's about narratives. It's about very visual narratives that you can tell to someone who's young or tell to someone who's old. And within that, a lot of different cultures and mythology has this kind of focus on like a personification of nature. And that personification of nature is so that you can see that the relationship between a person or the people and nature, and that's kind of an understanding. It's really great for storytelling. So that's really great, and I thought that was really interesting. Some of my earlier ones, when I was really kind of basic and I didn't really understand what I was doing, I used cress, and it was really interesting that when I used cress, people would come over and they would literally take bites out of me. But then what they do is, because it's living, they always feel like they can touch it, they can get close, and it's very interesting how different it is to other costumes that I make or other costumes that I see, is the essence of being able to come up and you know, and grapple it and feel that you can get really close to it. I've then started to think about the system that I do, which is kind of, I make a costume, I create a performance, and then I take that performance somewhere. And there's something about this kind of idea of it being kind of parachuted in that made me kind of feel quite uncomfortable. So I thought, could I make a kit that anyone could grow? And could I send that kit out to different parts of the world, to different types of communities, and they could use their own local plants, flora, grasses. The kits are about kind of making something that's really simple that anyone can grow. So it's really important for me that it's kind of really a collaborative process that anyone can kind of get involved in. And also that, like, you know, it gives that kind of remit for so many different people within a community to do it. So, you know, it could be that, you know, one part of the community grow part of the legs, or one part of the community grow the head. And so there's a kind of idea of the kit being able to facilitate that as well. So what you get is a box. Inside there are growing trays, and then there's these different patterns that fit within the growing trays. That's the membrane system. The growing trays allow for someone to be able to kind of like grow the individual parts, and then they will assemble together after they've been grown. Also in the kit there is some technology which allows you to kind of water the costume remotely, so that you don't have to be there watering it every day, because I thought it's really important that you can have it for a group that can't commit every single day to it. I think initially I just want to be able to connect the different communities together, kind of like satellite projects, so they could kind of be working together in unison, or there could be a group who have already finished who would help a group who are just starting. I realised through making that it had something more than just the performance. Every single one's different that I produce. There's a lot of myself goes into it because it's a lot of work, and I thought that's really quite interesting, and I don't want to just die knowing that I just did that myself. I want to try and hopefully give that to someone else to enjoy. But then on the performance side, you know, the performance is fun. People generally do enjoy it. Some people are terrified of it, as you would imagine, but you know, a lot of people do enjoy it. So with this project, it's about how they take that performance. You know, I've always thought that I'd like to work with other communities that already use costume in cultural and traditional practices, and then I'd like to see how these costumes that they grow could potentially become part of that. It's the wider community, the wider culture, and how I can facilitate that kind of opportunity for them to talk. Different communities across the world will not have met each other, but there'll also be, through that, you know, a lot of a chance to communicate with other people outside of that. And I hope it kind of has a ripple effect for them to be able to kind of use it as a platform to, you know, discuss their own issues or problems that could relate to the environment, but could relate to other things as well.